Alright fellas, here we are back with Pokemon Masters, and today we're going to be looking at Ryuki and Turtonator and seeing just how strong this sync pair is. So, Ryuki here is pretty much releasing not really alongside the Who's the Best Singer event, but he was a very prominent character in it, pretty much the third sync pair releasing for the event. Obviously the big highlighters were obviously Roxy and Pierce, but now we're getting Ryuki as well. So, he's a Spotlight. Very good stuff, right? We're actually getting our spotlights. Awesome. This is the 5th spotlight of the year. Should have had a couple more. No, actually, yeah, 5th. We should have had a few more, I feel like, but whatever, right? I mean, that's just how it is. Anyway, so how strong is this guy? Honestly, he's not like the strongest sync pair, other than being on type. Like if you're on type with Fire or Dragon, he's gonna do fine. But off type, he's not the strongest in the straightforward department, but with his Shell Trap, he can do some stuff, I feel like. Anyway, let's go ahead and just get a little overview here. So he drops tomorrow on November 4th, and he's going to be leaving on November 20th, meaning you've got yourself a little under 3 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, however you want to put it, in order to try and pull for him. He is a tech sync pair with the Special Striker EX role. Kind of wish he would have gotten support instead, but you know what, whatever. Actually, do I wish that? Hold on, let me find him. He's not Fire, he's Dragon. I think the Striker EX role is fine for him, honestly. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, he's a Dragon character, but he is also a very prominent Fire damage dealer. Looking at his stats, he's got 630 health, 346 attack, which doesn't matter, he doesn't use it, 178 defense, 166 special defense, which is fine, 224 speed, pretty low, but 448 special attack, very good special attack, very nice. Okay, and of course with the EX and EX roll, you can get some good buffs to his stats as well. His attack can go pretty fucking high. It can go like, what, 400 or 540 attack, a little over that. That's pretty good, or special attack, rather. It's pretty good. And then looking at his moves here, he's got Draco Meteor and Overheat, both pretty much with the same effect, except being Dragon and Fire, 3 gauge, 336 base power move, 90 accuracy, lowers his special attack, but he does have Dauntless, so it doesn't really affect him by that. And it also means you can use a different lucky skill for him. You can give him literally anything else. Mind Games 2, Crit Strike 2 if you want to, Head Start, Adrenaline, however you feel like running this guy, you can give him a lucky skill. And then he's got his trainer move here, Pour My Soul, which raises his special attack and crit by 2 and increases his special moves next by 1. Very, very good. And his biggest gimmick, Shell Trap. 3 gauge move, 2 uses, 200 base power, target is all opponents, 100 accuracy, and the user takes up a counter-attacking posture rather. Using the move again will cause the user to leave the posture, no other action can be taken while in the posture, you know, whatever. Takes up a counter-attack stance. The user will leave this position if hit by a physical attack move while in this counter-attacking posture, and then attack all opposing sync pairs. Now, obviously, that's very, very reminiscent of another sync pair that we that we got quite a while ago, right? Kimono Grimsley with his Metal Burst. If you think that they're similar in that end, you would be exactly right. Looking at him in his passive skills, he's got Star Shout, which grants the following effects when he uses Shell Trap, makes the opponent target the user for a short time, applies damage guard to the user, and increases his special moves next by 2 stat ranks. Passive skills First Aid 9 restores his HP by 90% of its maximum the first time it is in a pinch each battle. I don't know why. I don't think Shell Trap does damage to him. I don't think so. But basically, you see the whole ability now. Also, his Tech Nuke, it's brain power. You know, more special attacks, raise greater power of the move. Awesome, right? But anyway, back to his Shell Trap, which is his biggest gimmick. So not only is he able to do good damage with Draco Meteor, Overheat, his Nuke does fine damage as well. Good offensive stat. He also has this Nuclear Shell Trap, which makes it so if he gets hit by a physical move, he just blasts all enemies with this Shell Trap. And it doesn't affect him much because it does make the enemies target him, but it applies damage guard so he does not take any damage, and it increases his special moves next by 2. If you set up Ryuki's trainer move twice to buff his special attack to 4 and crit to 3, and give him +2 special moves next, and then you Shell Trap, you will have +4 special moves next, and then the enemy will attack you with probably a physical move, otherwise you're not going to get it activated, and then he'll blow him up with Shell Trap. Pretty easy to use, realistically speaking, because all enemies will target him, and honestly, when it comes to enemies using physical moves, it's not the hardest thing to get. Like, I guess we'll go into Grimsley here. Sharpedo, he's got Liquidation Waterfall. Snarl is the only special attacking move. All these sides here, they've got physical moves. All these sides here, they've got physical moves. You can just go through a ton of stadiums and find out. Obviously, ones like Chantal, you're not going to face any physical attacking enemies, right? They're all special attacking, except for the sides who have Earthquake. So, I mean, if you do want to try and use that against them, you can. And obviously, Caitlyn, a special attacker, you can try and go for the Zen Headbutt. If she leos for Zen Headbutt, then you can use your Shell Trap. But mostly, you're going to have to probably build around characters, or enemies rather, who have actual physical attacking moves, which isn't too bad, because generally, a character isn't going to be too mixed. A character is going to mostly go for a physical attack or a special attack. They may have one or two of the other type mixed in, but most of the time, they're going to be a physical or special attacker. So you can kind of build around that, depending on what your opponent is. And you can look pretty good using Ryuki with this Shell Trap. Even just at 1 out of 5, plus 4 200 base power move, even though it doesn't have any multipliers, it's still going to hit pretty hard, right? Still going to hit pretty hard. And of course, you can still do some damage with the Nuke, Draco Meteor, and Overheats as well, and whatnot, right? So he looks pretty fun. Again, pretty similar to Kimono Grimsley. Like, if we want to look at 1 out of 5 Kimono Grimsley, pretty much the same offensive stat. Literally the exact same offensive stat. Other than that, Metal Burst, it depends on how much damage the enemy does to him, right? But he also has a lot of stuff like Endurance, Evasion afterwards. He gets his heal, has his heal rather. So they're very similar characters, right? They're very similar, except where Grimsley is able to debuff enemy defense, Ryuki is able to buff his special moves next. That's the fundamental difference. And plus, of course, that doesn't mean you can't bring an ally who can't debuff enemy special defense, like bring, Signasu Brendan. Debuff special defense, max Ryuki's special attack, give him another special moves next. Yeah, sounds like a good idea to me. And also, use him as a support EX, right? Get yourself support EX, it'll activate Brendan's Team Smart Start, and then you'll get another special moves next. Pretty good partners, I would say. Pretty good partners. Anyway, let's look at the grid here for Ryuki. 1 out of 5, he's got nothing. Unbending and Heat Proof, that's it. 2 out of 5, he gets Accuracy on Draco Meteor and Overheat, and Furious Brain on Shell Trap. That's a good one. 2 out of 5 is actually good, just for this, because if you're on type, which you're most likely going to be if you're going to be using Overheat or Overheat or Draco Meteor, then you don't really care about the DPS, right? They're gonna do fine nonetheless. You're mostly here for the Shell Trap, in which case you get Furious Brain. So 30% multiplier plus the high special attack plus the good power of Shell Trap. Anyway, you're doing pretty good. At 3 out of 5, which obviously is going to be his best point, he's got Double Down 9 and Super Duper Effective 5. Yeah, it is obviously targeted towards on-type damage, but really, still, you've got that Furious Brain on Shell Trap, so it's not the worst thing ever, right? It's not the worst thing ever. Plus, he hits 2 types super effectively, so I mean, it's not the worst. Sharp Entry 1 if you want to max your crit, though really, I probably wouldn't go for it. You could do it if you wanted to, but I think I like that special moves next anyway, so I probably wouldn't. Other than that, he's got Vigilance if you do want to protect him from a crit, because he does get targeted for a short time, which makes it so he will be targeted still after using Shell Trap, so obviously he's going to lose the damage guard. He may get hit once more. That's why he's got the first aid 9 here. So you may want to bring Vigilance to protect him from a crit, but really, probably not going to be too valuable. He's also got Shell Trap, Brain Gain 9, another special moves next once using Shell Trap. Sync Burst to restore MP to both his Shell Trap and his Trainer move. Sync Nodes, of course. Scorching Touch on Overheat if you do want Burn, but that's probably not really your goal. And then Pinpoint Entry if you want to make it so you have 100% accuracy on Draco Meteor and Overheat. But really, again, not really necessary. So these are his best abilities, I would say. If you want to do good, consistent damage, Double Down and Super Duper Effective 5 are your main sources of damage for Overheat, Draco Meteor, and Fiery Spirit Dragon Beam. Cool. Also, this guy still does not have a unique sync move animation. Whatever. But there you go, you got that. But if your big goal is to use Shell Trap, then you've got yourself the Brain Gain 9 plus the Furious Brain, as well as the Sync Burst. So really, sorry, that's all you have to do. This is all you really need if you want to go for Shell Trap stuff. That's it. If you want to do something else with the grid, go for it. It really doesn't matter, but if you are just using Shell Trap off type, this is all you need. The Sync Burst may not be necessary, but if you're trying to set up another Shell Trap, you want the NPR probably for the trainer move here. Well, not NPR, but the Sync Burst for the trainer move, so you can get that special moves next back, set up your next Overheat, or Shell Trap rather, and then nuke them again, right? Because the first time, you'll get +2 special moves next from the trainer move, you'll get the +2 from the Star Shout here, you'll get +1 from the grid, and then you'll get +2, sorry, you already got +2 for this. +2, +2, +1, +5 special moves next just by himself. That doesn't include any partners that give him special moves next, or any allies that can debuff special moves next, or special defense rather. So it's pretty good, I would say, right? And then once you use your second Shell Trap, you'll have +4 because you'll be using the trainer move once, giving you +1, then you'll have +2 from this and +1 from this. So you'll have +4 on your next Shell Trap. Obviously hit a little bit lower damage, but still, that's 2 nuclear weapons that you just unleashed on the enemy, right? And if you have an EX, right, you'll have even higher stats. Level 150, you'll have even higher stats. Special Striker EX roll, if you want to go for it, there you go, right? I wouldn't invest the EX roll in my opinion, but if you do want to go for nuclear damage, you could, if you really want to. So honestly, yeah. Ryuki looks really fun, honestly, I'm just going to say it. He is really good on type with Draco Meteor and Overheat damage, as well as the Nuke here. Not going to be bad at all. But off type, I would say his Draco Meteor and Overheat are going to suck a little bit. Probably not to the extent you would really think, though. I think it may do decent enough damage, especially like under Zone or Sun or whatever. I think it'll be fine as like a side DPS option. But mostly you're going to want to go for Shell Trap, right? And the biggest caveat with Shell Trap, other than being limited to physical moves, is that is AoE, so it will have split AoE damage, but I really don't think it'll matter too much because it will put a big enough dent in the opponent anyway to where your other side DPS may be able to finish them off, or of course you can just go for Overheat, Draco Meteor, whatever, and then finish them off that way. So really, I think Ryuki looks like a very interesting and fun character. Just, yeah, honestly, overall, just very fun looking. I probably won't be going for him just because I want to save my gems, but I can't blame anyone who may want to go for him. He does look interesting, he does look fun, and he looks like he's very nice in gimmick, right? Also, has anyone noticed that November for the past 3 years has now yielded a bunch of gambling characters? Like, you got Ryuki here with his Shell Trap, which is kind of like unconventional gambling, type of behavior, right? Then you go back to a year ago, and you get yourself, if we go back far enough, you got yourself Hugh with his head charge, recoil removal 4 shenanigans. And then you go back another year, and you got Kimono Grimsley. Kinda weird. Kinda weird. So maybe next year we'll see another character like Kimono Grimsley and Ryuki where you got a lot of gambling. Or Hugh, right? Who knows? It'll be interesting to see. I'm very, very curious. Anyway, yeah. That's my overview for Ryuki and Turtonator. I think they can be very, very fun. Sorry. They can be very, very fun. They're going to be very good for fire and dragon damage, of course, and the Shell Trap. Mostly at 2 out of 5 is where... That's Grimsley. The Shell Trap mostly at 2 out of 5 is going to be where it can shine because it's got the 30% multiplier from Furious Brain. But 3 out of 5 with the Brain Gain and Sync Burst are going to be very, very good as well. So yeah. Overall, he looks very, very fun. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Ryuki and Turtonator down in the comments below. Let me know if you're going to be summoning for them or not. And yeah, I'll see you all later.